guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and you are tuned into, yes, inspirations for your life. And if you're new here, grab your smartphone, launch your camera app, point over the QR code like so, touch the ellipse. You'll get my link tree like so. If you're not watching us, but you're listening only to us on audio podcasts, then just go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing creations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the master topic. But before we do that, I want to thank you for being here, whether you're here at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., whenever you watch us or listen. Excuse me, I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You guys being here and making excuse me, excuse me, a part of your day. I really do appreciate that. So let's get into the master topic, okay? Our master topic is, does music cultivate our creativity? Series 2, Show 29, Episode 5. I'm going to go get my water bottle here because I'm getting a little tickle in my throat. All right, that's better. So we're in our second year. I can't believe this. Show 29, Episode number 5. We're almost at 700 episodes in a few more weeks. So this is like really amazing. So we're talking about, does music cultivate our creativity? And we've been talking about this all week, and I've been learning a lot about music. I don't know about you guys, but I've been learning a lot about music because music is very fascinating. So one thing I want to talk about is why music is important for your brain. Okay? And you might be saying, "Hey, John, this is kind of wacky." Yeah, it might be a little wacky, but I think there's a very interesting thing that we're going to learn, and this is from a Harvard study, actually. Harvard study about music and the brain. All these schools are doing studies about music, and why is music good for your brain? Well, that's an amazing question. Um, there are a lot of reasons that we've talked about already. Okay, but I think the most important thing is that music has a way of changing our life, like on a dime. People that listen to music, according to Harvard EDU, have said in the studies that they had a higher score in their mental well-being, and that children who were exposed to music actually find it much easier to learn now. That's pretty cool. And so active musical participation, which is listening, really helps to increase our cognitive abilities. They like to say at Harvard that music keeps the brain network strong. But how? So they did a 20-minute online survey, and there was some limitations with that, with 3,185 U.S. adults between 18 and older. And I know you might think that that's a small sample. It is. And if you want to, let's say, kind of pinpoint in a little more on that, to 328 million people across the country, it's really a survey of people's opinions. Although people might report their brain health is excellent, there's no objective measure of brain health, such as an MRI scan or even a test to measure their cognition. So if what they said was true, then the findings are only correlations. They don't prove that, for example, the exposure to music as a child led to one's improved ability. Now, it has been seen that it is, but it's been not documented. So if we assume that the results of the studies are indeed true, then music has such an impressive brain effect. We already know this, right? But there's so many institutions that are trying to do their own research, okay? They're all trying to do their own research, and I think that's a pretty good thing. but music activates just about all the brain. It makes the whole brain light up. And it's been shown to activate some very diverse networks of the brain, including the auditory cortex in the temporal lobe, close to your ears. And it's only the start because parts of the brain involved in emotion, like the hippocampus, are not only being activated during emotional music, they're also synchronized. And music also activates a variety of memory regions. And interestingly enough, music activates the motor system. So this is pretty cool. And it has been thought that in this activation of the brain's motor system that allows us to pick up the beat of music even more before we even start tapping our feet on the floor. You've all been at a mall before, right? And they play a song and you just like want to, throw your bags down and literally just jump around. Thanks, Daniel, for the like. Really appreciate that. So, you just want to just jump in and put your bags down because you just want to dance, like whether it's Chris Brown, I want to dance forever, or, whether it's Celebration, Cool in the Gang, or whether it's Black Eyed Peas and, A Night. You probably know, I Got a Feeling. Um, there's so many from Lionel Richie. I mean, there's just songs that go on and on and on. But the music does something to us. But what I've also found out is that the music affects one part of us and a lot of other parts, but there's something else that affects us. Those are the lyrics. Those are the lyrics. Okay. And the lyrics make it pretty amazing. The lyrics can change where we're going. I'll tell you that lyrics make a song. Now, the music is one part of the song. I get it. But you might be asking, hey, John, how do lyrics in a song affect us? And they have a direct cord to our emotions. Okay. I don't care what song you're listening to. The lyrics have a way just connecting with our emotions so we feel or we can be a certain way. Now, when we put this music on, we're never expecting how this is going to work. We never, ever expect it. But we just know that when we put on music, it happens. Harvard Medical School also says something else. They say use it or lose it, right? Music activates just about the whole brain, they say. And it's very important. And they also say, and I quote, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. It turns out this is actually true with the brain. So our brain pathways and even the whole networks of our brain are strengthened when they are used and are weakened when they are not used. Very similar to our bodies. If we, let's say, don't do something, we atrophy. So let me give you a perfect example, and I come from an example that's actually near and dear to me. So broke my legs a few times, and I know the last time that I broke one of my legs, I broke my tib and fib, and you might be saying, well, gee, what does that matter? Well, I got a cast. And so while my leg was in a cast from, I believe it was like February to June 12th, my leg atrophied. So what does it mean when we say atrophied? What does that mean? Atrophied is a term that is a adjective, and according to Merriam-Webster, it means having wasted away or decreased in size, as from disease or disuse, decreased in size, having progressively declined or weakened. So our body, our minds will atrophy when we don't use them. So when I got the cast off on June 12th, my leg was still able to move, but the muscles had really gotten small and I didn't have the same motor controls that I did. Of course, I got that back, but it had atrophied. And so that's why I needed to do some therapy to make sure that it was fine. Now, I actually fired my physical therapist because they were terrible. And I did my own physical therapy and I took the atrophied leg, tib and fib, out of the condition it was in and brought it into another state, which was a healthy state. So atrophy happens, ladies and gentlemen, because you don't use something. So if you don't use your brain, it is going to atrophy. So you might say, well, how do I not use my brain? Well, so a lot of times, if you go to a store, people say, oh, gee, I want to go use a calculator. Okay, nothing wrong with the calculator to check it, but you should always use your brain to do the mathematical computation, not just because I'm an engineer, but you should always use your brain and keeping it active. It could be doing a puzzle. So when I go to the store and there's change, I immediately come up with the change in my head before they give it to me. And it's a good feeling. You got it right. It reinforces it. You do it again. I'm like, okay, that'll be 722. And they're like, yeah, that's right. And because, the people today are just looking at the register and they see that it shows change. And I remember in my mom's business, we had the register and somebody would give, let's say $20 and the bill was, let's say, it was $10. So, you give it 10 back. But what happens is the register tells you how much to give back. But I always say you should have it in your head, do that, and then check it and make sure it matches the register, and then you're good. But you shouldn't just rely on the register to tell you what to give change. That's not a good way. That's a good way to atrophy your brain. So our brain, our mind, our body, or anything will atrophy if we don't use it. That's why the term that Harvard came up with, Harvard Medical School, use it or lose it, right? And I think when we understand that we have to give something attention, we have to put use into something. And this gets us to live a more fulfilling life. Okay. But it's not that we use it once and then we don't use it again for like a month. We have to keep using it. Music, as Harvard Medical School said, keeps your brain network strong, right? Music can lift our mood. We learned that before. You put a happy tune on and suddenly you're up and about. There was a lady today on one of the meetings I was in, and she was talking about a couple different types of music. And she said, when she was in school and she was an advisor or something in her office, and she said, when you heard this certain song, that meant you could knock on my door and I would talk to you. If this song was on, then you could just come in. If this song was on, then well, you better not even knock. You better not even come by me because I'm in a mood and I don't want to talk to anyone because I'm looking for that music to take me down to a better state. So I think music has the ability, but again, my favorite is the Tony Stark productive music, and I love the rainforest music. That's just so amazing. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been a amazing privilege, pleasure, and of course, an honor to be with you this fantastic evening. I hope that you will like, love, and support the channel. Definitely comment below, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. And then make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee bowl of fruit, or a savory, scrumptious dessert plate. Either way, we'll be very grateful for those pennies and dollars you invest into us. We'll put that in new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities, ladies and gentlemen, to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to empower you to have a better life. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Check out all the amazing content at believemeachieve.com. We need to put good fuel into our body. Of course, that's nutrition like food and drinks, stuff like that, right? Vitamins from our foods. But we also need to put the right motivational diet into our body. And if you are starved motivationally, it can affect whether you become successful or not. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. And you know what? I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. We'll talk more about this, and then we'll wrap up, of course, on Friday. This has been an amazing week, and I just love this topic, and I know you guys can't wait till I have the topic on Saturday, but you know I always have something interesting, and you can always check it out. Just go to believemeachieve.com if you missed any of these shows, and you can just catch up whenever you have time. Have yourself an amazing evening, and I'll see you guys, you know when, tomorrow. Be well, everyone.